When Nintendo announced the Nintendo Switch 2, the pricing had everybody up in arms, and people were wondering how this would affect the sales of the Switch 2. And honestly, because it is Nintendo and because they can kind of do whatever they want, people are going to go ahead and buy their products. Right now, it's looking like the pricing for the Switch 2 is having absolutely no effect on how well the sales are going to be, at least at launch. We are on the cusp here of the Nintendo Switch 2 pre-orders in the US and in Canada, and as of right now, especially with the Canadian prices, those are very high. The US Nintendo Switch 2 pricing is okay, but it is still $450 or $500 versus the Switch 1, which launched at $300. We will see how those go. My best guess is the pre-orders are going to sell it very fast, and this thing is going to have a great launch in terms of sales. And we have information here from France and from French retailer FNAC saying that the Nintendo Switch 2 hardware sales are at historic levels, and the sales of the accessories are doing very, very well. Here's what is going on. The hardware sales are at a historic level. The stock situation is good, but could get tense in June. So you're going to have to get your pre-order in, because it looks like as of right now, you're not going to be able to just walk into a store on June 5th and buy one of these. If you don't get a pre-order in, you're probably going to have to line up at the stores before they open to hopefully get one of the inventory that Nintendo does send over to retailers that isn't a part of the pre-order process. It says here that higher averages spent by users closer to the core gamers than Nintendo's more mainstream audience. So I'm guessing they are comparing this to PlayStation and to Xbox and how gamers spend money there. Obviously, because things were more expensive on those platforms comparatively to the Nintendo Switch 1 in terms of the console price, and most of the games, a lot of them were actually starting at $70 after that generation had launched. They say the price won't be an issue for the demographic of people going out there and buying this console right now, which makes sense because the people buying the console right now are going to be the enthusiasts. The question of this selling out right away isn't a hard thing to predict. It's going to be, how do these prices hold up going forward in a year, in 2-3 years from now, if they stay the same, or will there be price cuts by that point? This one to me is hilarious because the camera feature with the game chat on the Switch 2 is not exciting whatsoever. I don't even think there's any way you could spin this to make this feature exciting. It's just old technology, something that is not innovative whatsoever. It's basically just screen sharing, kind of like Discord and everything, but it's really bad when you look at the videos they've put out when you're watching your friends play games at like 2 FPS. It's just very, very low frames per second. And I don't even know how many people are actually going to use this beyond the gimmicks within the first couple of months of the release of this console. But to me, it's just unexciting. But the cameras are still selling and people are still going to go out there and buy them, at least at launch. And maybe that's just people that want that official Nintendo camera at the beginning and probably will never use it, but we'll see. I just think this feature is not exciting, and to add an entire button dedicated to it, to me, is just hilarious how Nintendo is hyping this thing up as something that is innovative, which it absolutely isn't. The Mario Kart bundle is extremely popular. I think that's the one I'm going to try to get, simply just because, I mean, you get Mario Kart World, which looks great, and you're saving on the price of the game because it's going to be cheaper in that bundle than if you buy it standalone. Software sales, they are saying here, are lagging behind but could ramp up closer to launch, and the 12 midnight launch events are planned. And I've seen some of those launch events planned in other parts of the world. Canada specifically, GameStop is doing it. I believe in the US, GameStop is also doing it. So in Europe and France, it looks like the Switch 2 is doing very, very well. Japan, as we know, Japan has the best pricing for the Nintendo Switch 2. They kept their regional pricing. They region lock that console. They don't have to deal with tariffs or anything. They create them. They sell them to the Japanese customers. They get a great price on the Switch 2. Well, if you're trying to get one in the Switch 2 lottery, it is going to be pretty difficult, as 2.2 million people have already applied for the Switch 2 lottery. They say here, on the 2nd of April, we announced the details of the Nintendo Switch 2 and launched the lottery on the My Nintendo store, which resulted in a huge number of applicants, approximately 2.2 million in Japan alone. However, this is far more than we had previously anticipated, and the number of Switch 2 consoles that My Nintendo Store will be able to deliver on the 5th of June has been exceeded by a large margin. It is therefore very unfortunate that a significant number of customers will not be able to win when we announce the winners tomorrow on the 24th of April. They say in order to avoid the hassle of re-entering the lottery for those who did not win in the first lottery sale, the My Nintendo Store will automatically carry over those who did not win the first lottery sale into the second lottery. So they did not anticipate even 2.2 million people applying for this lottery in Japan, which shows you the demand already for this thing at launch. And I believe that after tomorrow comes and goes, the pre-orders in Canada and the US are going to go extremely fast, and we may get some information and numbers of just how successful this thing is as well in North America, because pricing alone, there's been a lot of complaints. I've complained about it. The game pricing, all of this is high, but Nintendo knows they can sell it to people. They know that people are going to route out and buy it, and that is part of the reason why they're able to do this. Is the console technology worth the price of it, or is it older technology? It's older technology, but they're able to upsell it because it's popular. It's Nintendo. The Switch 1 was very popular. Is Mario Kart World worth $80? Probably not, especially when you take a look at it comparatively to other games that are on the market. Bigger, better looking, deeper, more content in there that don't sell for $80. So there's a lot here to look at, but Nintendo can do all of this because people are running out and buying this thing. And I'm a part of the problem. I'm going to go pre-order this thing tomorrow, hopefully tonight at midnight when they do launch in certain retailers. And we're going to continue to cover the Switch 2. I'm going to play it. I'm going to show it off, all that stuff when I do end up getting it, if I can get a pre-order. Hopefully it isn't as crazy as I think it is going to be. But I'm going to end the video there. If you did enjoy this video, hit that thumbs up. If you're new here, hit that subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.